Hey y'all, welcome to First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsay Jackson.
And I'm Aaron Jackson.
And season 5, we're talking about cliches and realness. So, cliche of this episode is something that you've heard before. Don't go to bed angry.
Yeah.
We talked about this because right before we got married, or was it at our wedding day, we asked our guests.
Well, yeah, the videographer asked our guests, like,
Right.
one piece of advice for the couple.
Right.
And that was
like the main one.
Yeah.
A lot of people was like, don't go to sleep angry, even if they were married or not. Like, they seem to have that advice. Like, that's something that's very well known that everyone believes to be true.
Yeah, it was also a Neo song.
It is? No.
Yeah. Baby, I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed mad at you, and I don't want you to go to bed.
Oh, yes, mad at me. Okay, yeah. I have heard that song.
Yeah.
Wow, you pulled that out.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I love me some Neo.
Neo is a great writer.
So,
okay.
yeah. So, yeah, that's one of the cliches, relationship cliches.
Yes.
That you hear all the time. And like we did with the other ones, like, what's your take on this one?
Okay, let's talk about it. Here's the thing. I feel like it's one of the ones that's good intention, but might not necessarily be appropriate to like a hard, fast truth. So, I mean, case in point, right now we have 3 young children. Sometimes we're tired, right? So I think to myself, if we're in a disagreement, should we stay up? Because that's the point. Do we stay up and talk it through until we get to a resolution so that we don't go to bed angry? I'm going to say no, because sleep is very important to us right now. Sleep is like, what, you got sleep? Okay, you can take 15. This morning I said, you got 12 minutes. You could go back to sleep and then we could wake up and do laundry. So I don't know it to be true. Now, in the beginning of our relationship, we really did try to do this. Like, we were very communicative. We were very in each other's faces. If there was something off between us, we would take the time and talk about it all night. But that was when it was just us, So don't go to bed angry. I'm more of a slow to anger, quick to listen. That's a proverb.
Mm-hmm.
Slow to anger, quick to listen. So I think to myself, that one rings more true than this don't go to bed angry.
I think it's funny that you said you are slow to anger. Said it twice, too. I'm like, slow to anger?
Slow to anger. Because we always
who? You?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? I'm not like Hulk, like I'm angry. I might be like, and then it dissipates.
I would say not so much. You've grown, so it's not like a lot, but you can easily, I won't call it anger, disappointment. You get disappointed very easily, and your disappointment and your anger have similar traits. The eye rolls, the attitude, all of that stuff. So it's a very, me being with you for so long has learned to discern which one is which. Mm-hmm. Like, there are, like, anger is more than disappointment, but there's a lot of the same actions, I would say.
But that's not the same as, okay, she's angry, he's angry, we're in an argument. We need to talk this out before we go to bed, because I think the purpose of the cliche also is like, you never know if you're going to wake up the next morning. You don't want to leave things on whatever note it is the night before. You want to make sure everything is resolved. And I mean, that's the same thing as like kiss goodbye, right? Because you're always saying like, you better kiss me goodbye, because you don't know.
That's how I say it?
You do. You better kiss me. You always say that at the door. And I'm like, okay. But I'm just like, you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know what is the most overrated blessing is coming home safely. So you don't know. And to that point, I do understand. I'm not going to go to sleep angry, but we might not have resolved everything that night.
Okay. I would say it's such an interesting one to me because like this is one of the rules that I used to follow. You like it used to be like
Hard and
yeah
true. He would be in
yeah
my face.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not ready to talk about it yet, and you would be like,
No, we gotta talk about it. Yeah, we gotta talk about it because we Lindsay and I, you gotta know your partner first off. You gotta know your partner. Lindsay and I both we grew up differently. We grew up same, but also different.
yes,
And so the communication in my family, I feel like, especially as we got older, and my siblings and my parents, is more straightforward, but it's also not harsh. Like sometimes when you and your siblings and your parents talk, and it be straightforward, it's also harsh.
it seems harsh.
Yeah, it seems harsh. So
Outside looking in, okay.
yeah, right. You be getting offended. She be acting like she don't get offended. Um, but like, and also sometimes your family things be like under the rug, swept under the rug. Like, oh, we ain't gonna talk about this.
Right.
Or you do like there'll be actions, and you would know it because you grew up in your family. Like that old thing, like oh, when your mom's mad at you, and so she don't say sorry, but she make you dinner or something like that.
Right.
It was
Like, come and eat.
yeah, come and eat, yeah. So like
that's like what I did with you the other day. I was like, I made you pancakes. I thought it was good.
Yeah. And my family is more so like, okay, yeah, let me just. I remember a couple of times when we got older, I offended my sister, and
yeah,
they hit me up. I was like, hey, you offended me. Da 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 da. It's kind of like we're doing it out of love, so I might as well just tell you what it is.
right.
And when we're arguing, we have a disagreement with us. I just I want to get out the way because, and we said this in previous, it stays in my mind. You like you could put a pause on it and actually be a pause. I would say, okay, let's put a pause on it, and then I would think of like 50 different ways of what I could say to you, what you're gonna say, da 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 da. So I try to get it out before I go to sleep because I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems true to me. When I'm very upset and I'm thinking about something heavy, when I go to sleep, I have bad dreams or I have like restless
It's
sleep.
not, yeah.
I'm like, you wake up and you wake up with this feeling. Could be the feeling of anxiety for like me wanting to have this conversation. It could be the feeling of like anger. I can't believe you let me feel all these because you know vibes and energy is a real thing. Um, I will say this though, as we got older, at first it was like, yeah, we need to not go to sleep angry. Now it's kind of like, can we go to sleep on an understanding? And that understanding might be like we're still at a disagreement, but we're the understanding is we'll pick this up later.
Yeah.
Or the understanding is it's not a priority. Whatever it is, it's not a priority. Let's circle back when yeah, I'm doing corporate talk. Let's circle back. Let's circle back when like it's more appropriate.
Yeah.
And so now that we're older, it's really about let's reach an understanding so we can go to sleep because there are other pressing things, and usually with the misunderstanding, the less is like like something wild. Where it's like, yeah, we need to talk this all the way through. Like somebody's cheating on you and you get caught or something like that.
Right, right.
And there's a disagreement. I feel like there should be some allowance of like going to sleep because we have gone to sleep angry and it ended up not being good. I do remember that.
I don't.
Oh yeah, because Lindsay she be it rolls off her back, and also when it's different when we're married,
right?
And so when we have a disagreement, sometimes if I get some space away from you, I'm like, in 70 years will this matter?
You say that?
Yeah, I say like, or it's 100 years, like however long we'll be together. Will this? Oh, you didn't defrost the chicken before I came home matter? And sometimes some things do matter. Like if you're cursing at me in anger and like doing things that I'm like, okay, this needs to stop now because in the future it's never going to be okay.
Right.
And so those are things like you do have your core issues that like, hey, this we need to address this because this is important. And then there's also like, you've been going out with your boys too many times. And it's like, well, I asked you and you said yes. I said yes, but I didn't. I said yes, but I didn't mean yes.
Right.
And so like things like that to me, I'm like, okay, y'all could be mad. And on our podcast, I've like people DM us situations with their significant other,
Yeah.
and it's funny because some situations are just like that. It's just kind of like it seems so minute to us because we've been together so long, but it's like a big issue to them.
No, for sure. And if that's the thing in the relationship, if it's important to you, it's important to me, and that we've said that before. But back to your point about some things not being pressing, I feel like I've said this before, timing and tone really set the page for how you're going to talk about something, and if it's even something you should talk about before you go to sleep. So I mean, yeah, I can go to sleep. I don't have anxiety. I mean, like you said, it has to be something huge for me to say, I'm going to stay up late and talk to you about it. I do not have anxiety. I am not going to have a nightmare. I'm going to sleep right next to you. We might not be booty to booty, like touching each other, but I'm going to sleep in the bed, and I will be okay if we're in some sort of, argument.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to, not a big one, just a little argument.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
I feel like we said, I don't know how many times. I should go back and count how many times we said the word communication in this whole podcast, like since season 1. How many times have we used the word communication? And that's basically the core of this thing. It's like you have to stay in communication. And usually an argument is a miscommunication. And if you're going to bed upset, that means that miscommunication is still there. And you're still upset. You're still going to do things that are going to have you miscommunicate. You're not going to talk to that person in the morning. You're going to do like slick stuff. Go to work without saying goodbye, giving that kiss goodbye.
That's petty.
Yeah, like start doing that petty stuff. Like I know that you have to go to dance rehearsal, but I leave before you can get a babysitter or something, like just like petty stuff, and you're going back and forth, and you guys are actually now you're acting as though you're not on the same team.
Yeah, it's spiteful, then that turns into vengeance, and then that's a cycle. So yeah, if it's gonna turn into something like that, I agree.
It could quickly turn into something like that.
Then you have to talk about it.
But sometimes they have a partner like my partner here, Lindsay, who whenever she is wrong, she gets more upset when she's wrong because she feels bad that she's wrong. And then when I'm trying to approach her or talk to her about her being wrong, she's like, why are you trying to make me feel bad?
Allow me to bring it to you that I'm wrong. Give me, again, time. Because when I'm wrong, and I know I'm wrong, y'all, yes, I need a second to feel my feelings and then come to you and apologize. What he has done, what Aaron has done many times, and I feel like you learned the last time, is you'll be like, did you, whatever the issue is, and I'll get upset. I'm like, I was just building up the courage to say sorry. And this is coming from someone who like doesn't ask for help easily, doesn't say sorry easily. Like, I know my things. So yes, that is true. But again, timing is key. Okay?
Welcome to the Am I Wrong segment of First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. Since we were just talking about Am I Wrong, this is part of the podcast where I give you a situation and you let me know if I'm wrong or if Lindsay is wrong. So this is the situation. I am on paternity leave right now, and Lindsay has gone back to work. Praise God. She's a warrior. She is a trooper. She is an Amazon woman. She is everything. I learned how to say wonderful in sign language. That's this, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, wonderful. My mom taught me that. She's all those things. So when people say paternity leave, they're like, oh yeah, this is like, oh yeah, you're gonna have so much fun, you're gonna be with your daughter, this is your leave. Lindsay has taken this leave, my leave, and made this a full-time job. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, when I'm talking about like I don't got no time for myself, like none, zero. I thought at least I get one day because I was hitting up my homegirl who got access to the steam room. I was like, oh, in the morning I'm gonna go to the steam room. I might work out in the morning.
You did say that.
None of that has been happening. I have been working full time, and there's still a lot more to do because Lindsay still does so much. It's just that like, you know, yesterday Lindsay went back and forth for about 3 times. She been visiting friends. She been going to shows. She having a good 2 shows. Yeah, she going to baby showers. I'm just saying, am I wrong? Should I, on my paternity leave, have a little bit of time for myself? Or is it just like straight, this is what it is why you take the time off?
I think this is such a great question because we need to reevaluate what a paternity leave is and what a maternity leave is. Because it's the same for me. I mean, just to bring it around, people are like, oh my gosh, enjoy your maternity leave. I'm sorry. I am up all night and then I'm up all day and it keeps going while he's at work. So yes, because he's not at his, corporate job, should I give him time to be home? And yeah, it's right. It's everything I'm doing is right. Actually, he's giving me the time to actually be a person. And mind you, this is just for 3 weeks. He's giving me time to, yes, go and see a friend, go to PT, go take care of my body. Because when I previously on maternity leave, I'm not doing any of that. So I think that this is a really good lesson learned for everybody out there who's saying, oh my gosh, you're gonna have so much fun on your paternity leave. No, he's taking the kids to school. He's doing all the things
Cooking.
With our daughter.
Yeah.
Cooking, helping, cleaning. We're having a good time. So either way, you can let him know if he's wrong about his paternity leave thoughts. DM us, First Comes Love, TCM, Instagram or TikTok.
You can put a comment inside the YouTube comments and tell her, like, hey man, sometimes Aaron might need a break. And that our YouTube is at First Comes Love.
You can email us, let's talk at firstcomeslovethenComesMarriage.com.
Welcome back. We are talking about the old cliche, relationship cliche. Says don't go to bed early. Wait, no. Sorry.
Sleep deprived.
Yeah. Don't go to bed angry. Man, because we would go to bed early. Let's not talk about that right now.
Okay.
But when you think about like old cliches like that, don't go to bed early.
Angry.
And I keep saying early. My goodness. Don't go to bed angry.
Yes.
Do you remember a time where you were with me, or you were always with me? Do you remember a time where you saw you were actually putting it into work, like you thought about it and then you used it?
Yes, absolutely. I remember our first 3 years of marriage very well. It was like honeymoon to the 10th degree, like total bliss. And I remember the arguments that we got in just because mostly it was around my love language of spending time with you. You had a job that kept you out later than me, which is unusual because I have a job that I work night. And I'd be like, where is he? Or we would get into, arguments about love. These are like love arguments, I would say. Things that I just want to be with you. Those type of things. It's nothing like, you stepped out on me or anything like you're not cleaning up, like things like that. So I remember us arguing about it and you saying, this is my job, and us going back and forth about that. But sometimes, and this goes back to what I was saying, sometimes the resolution isn't understanding. So maybe we just need to talk about it. But I remember thinking to myself, don't go to bed angry. We need to talk about this. And we talked about it. But it was more so you hearing me out. Nothing really changed. And I feel like sometimes people expect that in an argument, there's like change,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it's the conversation.
Okay, so if you were to rephrase this cliche, you're rebranding it. You are rebranding the cliche.
Yeah.
What would the cliche say to make it more obtainable, make
Right.
it more universal, and help people out in the long run?
Okay, let's see. Let's do like effective communication.
I'm
It's gonna be
say,
long. It's
I'm
gonna be
gonna say that's
paragraph.
already too long. I'm thinking about like something like got milk or so like something catchy.
Oh.
Just do it, Nike. You gotta rebrand it.
Let me think. What do you think? Because you got the creative juice.
Oh yeah.
So,
First of all, First of all, I would say that there. Yeah, I know that you should not go to sleep without an understanding, right? And if I'm thinking about like great quotes or like cliches, like you remember Spider-Man one, it's like with great power comes great responsibility.
mind
You
you,
know what I'm
that's from
saying?
the Bible, but sure.
Really?
Yes, to whom
Oh.
much is given, much is required.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay, put a halo over here. Um, I would say like what would be the new saying? Uh, I don't know because I'm not Gen Z. Like I'm still using cap right now.
I
The
think
new
cap is
slang.
appropriate. Look,
Does it have to rhyme? Does it have to
it
rhyme?
doesn't have to rhyme, and there's nothing new under the sun. So honestly, the cliche of "don't go to bed angry" is really saying, like, talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Can't we just say talk to each other?
Well, it's kind of like what isn't there a song that's like I'm gonna kiss you like it's my last time.
Alicia Keys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I would actually bring that other cliche, that one, into that one, and just kind of combine it and be like, take every moment like it's your last. That big cliche.
Right.
Because if this is my last moment with you, do I want it to be over how you always be? Oh, I got a new am I wrong? How you always be eating my cereal?
Just buy me my own cereal and I won't eat yours.
So, like, I don't want that to be the last moment.
Right. But the reality of relationships is that things happen, and sometimes you're upset, and sometimes it's not yes, I never want the last moment to be when I'm upset with you, but I can't just ease my pain and make it go away. So to me, it's more like, talk it through. And what's that thing? It's like easily forgive. Like as quickly as you want someone to forgive you, forgive them. So it's just like all of these things that
really?
you want.
You don't. You must not want forgiveness.
Glory.
You know what? Okay, I do have a question because that was hilarious to me. I'm just playing. Lindsay is a wonderful partner. She is wonderful. Okay, wonderful. I was. You made me forget. I'm having so much fun. You made me forget what I was gonna say. Yes, there we go. This is like advice time. We lost people that like great people in our lives. I lost my grandmother. She's no longer with us physically, and your dad is no longer with us physically. And so if it was a tragedy to happen where somebody did have a falling out and didn't get to settle whatever it was, how would you advise them to reconcile? Because like I said, it's not always like your best moments. You might like we have siblings, praise God, all our siblings are still here. But like I have back and forth with my siblings. I have back and forth with your siblings. I have back and forth. Yeah.
That's how you know you're real.
Yeah, and I have back and forth with you, and my parents sometimes. And so it's just like if the life happens and somebody is gone, and how do you not harbor on that
how you left it?
How you left it?
Yeah, you want to make sure to leave it right, but sometimes, I mean, we actually had this conversation before about people that are still alive. You've said to me, if something were to happen to this person, would you be okay with how you're leaving it? And because we are so thoughtful that way, I'm like, Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'd be okay, right? And then it's like, okay, girl, think about it for a second. Would you be okay? Uh, and then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I've made my peace with that. I've made my peace with this relationship or whatever it is. Now, if we're on the other side of it and this person is gone and you haven't had the opportunity, I mean, prayer is my biggest go to. I am in that prayer. Like I'm talking to God and then I'm talking to God about talking to them. Like I talk to my dad all the time and you know, me and my dad had a lot of ups and downs and not a lot. That's drastic. We had a few toward the end. And but I have nothing but fond memories. And so I think also just thinking about that and not harboring on maybe, you know, sometimes it's not the finale, not the how you left it, but just all the good memories that happened before then. So that's what I would do.
Mm. You know what? Listening to you, that was excellent. Listen to you, you got me to rebrand that one. So from now on, is it won't be don't go to sleep angry.
Mm-hmm.
It would be, would you be okay if this is the last thing you say?
Right. Oof, that's a good
That's
one.
good, right?
That's a good one.
Would you be so next time somebody's at a wedding and they're
asking going off on you at
no,
the
at a
wedding.
wedding, you're asking
okay.
for advice and
Yes.
they're like, hey, do you have any advice for the couple?
Yes.
Then you could be like, this is what we could tell the lovely couple. Just remember this. Would you be okay if it's the last thing you say?
In the moment. Absolutely. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Now that was off of you.
Okay.
That was, you gave me the brain, the energy with how you talked about going back to those fond memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. You don't, the truth of the matter is, with all the people that I've lost, I don't remember the bad stuff.
You really don't.
And it's interesting because when people are alive, you tend to remember the bad stuff more. And when they pass or they transition, all that bad stuff, case in point, funerals. Like, you don't be mentioning bad stuff at funerals, right?
I mean, you wouldn't go to a funeral if you only remember bad
yeah,
stuff, right?
like, you're not gonna do all this. You're gonna remember all the good times and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, it's so hard to get yourself out of that moment of anger and look at big picture. But once you go to the grand scheme of things, everything's gonna be all right. So,
and that helps with this cliche as well.
Yeah.
That don't go to sleep angry. It's not that everything is not trivial. So if you're really having issues with who does chores or who helps out where, those are things to talk about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But also keeping in mind that not everything is a big thing. And
Yeah.
there's ways to communicate and to handle it. So, yeah.
Beautiful. That's all we got. That's all we got.
That's a cliche. So reach out to us. Tell us what you think. Don't go to sleep angry. Yes, no, true. You subscribe. You don't. Whatever. DM us. Instagram or TikTok. First Comes Love. TCM.
Or, let me know if I should put a t-shirt that says, will you be okay? Is this the last thing you say? Make a t-shirt, put it on the website.
Yeah. Would
Anyway,
you buy it?
Yeah. Would you buy it? You can always leave us comments on the YouTube channel.
Please.
And please subscribe to the YouTube at First Comes Love.
Email us. Let's talk at firstcomeslove, thencomeslove.com.
See you next Friday.